Today I will show you how to make a chocolate covered strawberry. The felt colors you will need are red, green, and a dark brown. I purchase a lot of my felt from Hobby Lobby, either by the yard or just by square sheets. The green I'm using is just a square sheet of apple green, but I'm going to go ahead and start with my red felt first, and I'm using a circle cookie cutter that I purchased from Walmart. I'll see if I can link it down below, but I will take my disappearing ink pen that I got from Hobby Lobby and I will start to outline that circle. I will always use the purple side more than the blue side of the pen. I've noticed that the blue side doesn't fade all that well. So keep that in mind when you're using it on light felt. But once I'm done outlining, I'll move on to cutting the circle out. And then from there, I will take my circle and I fold it in half like a taco. And then I will cut straight down the middle, which will then give me two halves to create two strawberries. I will then take my needle and my matching thread, and this is where I'm going to start to stitch the strawberry together. So I will fold the piece in half again, creating sort of a triangle. And then I will start my stitch at the tip of that triangle. I will take my needle and I go between the two pieces of felt first. This allows me to hide my knot at the end of my thread, and then I will come up and over and then take my needle and push it through that top piece and come up between the two pieces again and then pull tight. This will be the start of your blanket stitch. I use a blanket stitch for all my felt food. It's definitely my go-to. I feel like it's the cleanest stitch. It also looks really pretty once it's all put together. So once you've done that first initial stitch, you will move over just a bit and you'll push your needle through both pieces of felt this time. And before pulling that thread all the way through though, you'll take your needle and run it through that loop and then pull tight. I will do this blanket stitch along the whole edge of that triangle, which will then create a small red cone when you're done. So once you're done with that last blanket stitch at the top, you're going to want to put that off to the side. Don't cut the thread. Don't remove it from the needle. Don't secure your stitch with a knot. You'll be coming back to it later. So for now, I just move on to creating the chocolate piece for the strawberry. Now for the chocolate circle, I'm using half a cup. I will outline that onto my brown felt and then cut it out. And then from there, I do the same exact thing that I did with the red felt. The only thing that's different is that when I make my last blanket stitch at the top, I will want to secure the stitches that I just made. So I will run my needle through that loop, not once, but twice, and then pull tight. This will create a knot in my thread and secure everything that I just did. And then from there, I will take that small brown cone that I have and I will put it onto the red cone. Make sure to match up your blanket stitches on the side so that they look nice and neat, but this is where you will start to attach the chocolate part to the strawberry. And from there, I will start at the edge of my brown felt and I will push my needle towards the inside of the strawberry. I will then take my needle from the inside of the strawberry and push it back out along the top edge of the brown felt. From there, I will want to come down just a bit onto the brown felt before pushing the needle back inside the strawberry. I will do this stitch along the whole edge of that brown felt. This is just making sure that you're securing your brown felt to the red felt. But once I make it back to my first initial stitch, I will push my needle back through and then turn the strawberry inside out so that I can secure the stitches I just made. So I will take a little bit of felt with my needle, and before I pull the thread all the way through, I will put my needle through that loop not once, but twice, and then pull tight and cut off the extra. And there you go. You have attached the chocolate to the strawberry. You can definitely be done at this point and just move on to making the rest of the strawberry, but I like to do a little drizzle on top. So how I do this is I will take my pen and outline my drizzle straight onto my felt. I've seen a lot of people use puffy paint for this part, which you can definitely do as well, but I try to keep it to all stitching or stitches when I can. So once I'm done with my drizzle outline, I will take 2 white strands of thread and I'll bring my thread up from the back and then go 1 stitch forward before pushing my needle back inside the strawberry. And then from there, I will skip a stitch length and I'll bring my needle back up through the back again, making sure that I follow my outline. But instead of moving forward with this stitch, I will move backwards and come back down the hole that I had previously made. This stitch is called a back stitch, and I will continue to do that stitch until I reach the end of my outline. Once I'm at the end though, I will turn my strawberry inside out again and secure those stitches by taking a little bit of felt and then going through the hoop not once but twice and then pulling tight and cutting off the extra. From there, you'll move back up to the top of the strawberry where you left the red thread attached. I will take that needle and the thread and I'll start doing what is called a running stitch along the top edge of the strawberry. I don't worry too much about making these stitches even or pretty. I just kind of go in and out of the felt with my needle. And then I usually will make maybe 3 or 4 stitches or in and out before I pull my thread through. But you will notice that once you start pulling that thread through, it will start to make the top of that strawberry cinch together like a cinched bag. I do this around the whole top part. And then once I get back to my first initial stitch, I will then pull it tight. But don't pull it close because you'll need to add your polyfill. So I'm using basic polyfill, nothing special. You can get it at any craft store. I bought mine at Hobby Lobby, but you'll see as I'm stuffing, I'm also pulling that thread to make the hole smaller and keep the top cinched. But once you're done, you're going to run your needle back through those lumps at the top and pull the thread as you go. This will just make sure that it's nice and tight. And then once I've made it all the way around the top again, I will then secure those stitches by making a knot in my thread. And then I will push my needle through the strawberry before cutting off the extra. And then there you go. You have your strawberry and it's time to make leaves for it. So when it comes to making leaves for my strawberries, I don't have a template for them. I usually just draw them directly onto my felt and then I will cut them out. Your leaves don't have to be perfect or the same size. It's probably better if they're not the same size. But once I have those cut out, which usually I just do 2 of them, 2 bunches or 2 groups, I will then take my glue gun and I place a bit of glue on the top hole, and I will lay my first group of leaves down, and I'll make sure that that is nice and secure before I then add another little dab of glue on top of those leaves, and then I'll glue the next group of leaves down. And then there you go. You have a beautiful chocolate strawberry. Hopefully this was helpful. Please let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions, and thanks for following along.